You're saying, Your Honor, you're saying this is a criminal matter?
Yes.
Okay, well then we need the corpus delicti. You have the identification of the person, which is me, but you don't have a person saying that they were hurt or damaged, or the crime that's saying what I did to hurt or damage the person. So how do you have a crime?
You went to law school?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
You're in a whole different ball game, and you need to come on to this ball game here.
All right, folks, buckle up, because we've got an absolute firestorm of a courtroom showdown today. On the bench, Judge Perkins, who does not mess around. And in the hot seat, a defendant who apparently woke up and decided the law just doesn't apply to him. Yep, you guessed it. He's pulling the old sovereign citizen card. Because why follow the actual law when you can make up your own rules, right? But Judge Perkins isn't having any of it. He lays down the law and completely dismantles this guy's YouTube lawyer logic in real time. It's honestly something to see. So here's the question: what would you do if you were the judge in this situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's dive in and watch Judge Perkins absolutely school this sovereign citizen.
I'm going to give you a $0 bond. And I'll recall the warrant. What is your motion, sir?
I have a motion to strike and dismiss.
What are the bases?
Basis of federal rules of civil procedure. Number one, there's no claim. There's no ratification of the claim.
There is a claim. There is a. You want me to read out I waived the reading of the information. You want me to read the claims, the allegations that have been made into the record? Do you need me to do that?
No, I don't. No, I don't, Your Honor.
I deny your motion on that basis. What else do you have to say?
What else? You deny my motion because of what, Your Honor?
Yes.
There is no real.
I denied your motion because there is a and this is criminal procedure, not civil procedure. But I denied your motion because there is an allegation here.
You're saying, Your Honor, you're saying this is a criminal matter?
Yes.
Okay, well then we need the corpus delicti. And so that's what I'm asking for. If there was a criminal matter, basically what you're telling me is that something has happened, someone has either been damaged or someone has been or either someone has been damaged or someone has something has been come up missing. And if that's the case, then that means that there is a crime. And if there's a crime, then there is what do you have that's saying that I did the crime? What you're saying that I created this crime that hurt this person, and if I hurt this person and I created the crime, then a third thing that you have to have is the identification of the person. You have the identification of the person, which is me, but you don't have a person saying that they were hurt or damaged, or the crime that's saying what I did to hurt or damage the person. So how do you have a crime?
Okay. You went to law school?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
And where did you get that? Where did you get that from? Where did you learn all that?
I've been studying for quite some time, trying to understand what's going on. I have a different perspective as to what's being said that happened. I'm understanding more necessary for a crime to go for them to bring a crime forward. I'm understanding that a bit more.
And where did you get that understanding?
I've done some Cornell law studies. I've also sat down with a couple of friends who have had some issues. I picked up wherever I could, just started to study the law, just started to go back through Cornell law, started to figure out what was going on and to understand the nature of how what a crime is and everything else. So just a course of me searching it out.
And you're citing Cornell law for all of that you just said to the court?
No, what I did, Your Honor, was I realized that one of the biggest portions that you have to have is you have to have the corpus delicti.
Gotta say, I'm really enjoying Judge Perkins' vibe here. He's so chill and unbothered, it's like he's swatting at a fly, not dealing with a full-blown sovereign citizen meltdown. Meanwhile, the defendant's over there spouting random legal phrases he Googled from Cornell Law, like that's gonna impress a judge. It's honestly laughable. This guy really thinks he's outsmarting the system, but Judge Perkins isn't buying a word of it. It's like watching someone argue with a Michelin star chef about how to cook an egg when they've never even used a stove. Just peak cringe. What really gets me is the confidence. This guy is straight up trying to lecture a judge with decades of experience, like he knows better. Seriously, how does he think this ends? At this point, it feels less like a legal argument and more like a shared delusion. But what do you think? Is this arrogance, denial, or something deeper? Drop it in the comments.
And that is in when you're being charged criminally.
What is a corpus delicti?
What do you mean, what is the corpus delicti?
What is your understanding of what corpus delicti is?
That is the corpus delicti is the law that's saying that there is a crime that's being committed. So in order to do that, you have to show the corpus delicti, which is you saying this is what happened. This is how this person was damaged.
So,
there is no
the
person.
Officer on this day, on these dates, because I got a lot of them, said that
I object. I object. The officer works.
Don't interrupt me.
I apologize, Your Honor. I apologize, Your Honor. My apologies.
The officer says that you drove a vehicle that wasn't registered and wasn't titled, or titled and or untitled, that you drove without a valid driver's license, that you drove without valid insurance. Again, on a different occasion, they allege that you drove without a valid driver's license and no insurance. And then on a different occasion, they allege that you drove without unregistered or untitled or both, and drove without a valid driver's license, repeat offender, that you failed to have a trailer plate, and that you failed to secure a load on your vehicle. And on another occasion, on the same occasion that you failed to secure, that they allege you failed to secure the load, failed to have a trailer plate on your vehicle, that you didn't provide a valid driver's license. So those are the crimes. And in the state of Michigan, whether you agree or not, they are crimes. So based on your motion and all of that stuff you talk about, corpus delicti and things like that, the court denies the motion. Okay, based on those reasons I just said. Now, how do you want to move forward? Because wait a minute, I'm not finished.
My apologies, Your Honor.
How do you want to move forward? Because in my experience, someone that comes into court, as you do, you do not want to take an offer. You do not believe that you need to have plates or registration or insurance. And you just disregard all of that portion of the law, and either you are going to move forward by having a trial, or you're going to take a deal. What do you want to do, sir?
Your Honor, first I want to put my objection on the record. And at that point,
whatever your objection is noted. What do you want to do, sir? Do you want a trial? You have two options: trial, or you want to take a deal.
Your Honor, I request a jury trial.
A jury trial?
A jury trial, yes, Your Honor.
Very good.
This guy seriously wants a jury trial for traffic violations. Like, he actually thinks a room full of strangers is going to sit there and go, yeah, running 3 stop signs and driving without a license. Totally fine. Let him go. I just don't get the logic here. Jury trials are for serious stuff, felonies, major lawsuits, not for sovereign citizens who can't follow basic traffic laws. This dude is literally creating drama out of thin air, thinking he's about to pull off some kind of legal wizardry and skate free. Spoiler, he's not. This is not going to end well for him. It's the audacity for me walking into court, acting like you know more than the judge. With no law degree, just a playlist of conspiracy videos. Make it make sense. Anyway, what do you guys think? Is he just delusional or actually believes he's got a shot? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
You know what I want to ask, Mr. Gray, and you can choose to answer it or not.
Yes, Your Honor.
But what I surmise and what I've heard, and I don't know if you're alleging the same thing, is that and you basically did allege the same thing, that no crime has been committed because no person has been, the people of the state of Michigan are in danger of you driving without the proper documentation or anything like that. But I don't, and I'm gonna surmise, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you're gonna say that there's no jurisdiction to be able to pull you over because no one has been injured. Is that correct?
I think that what I'm saying is that the city of Detroit had an officer pull me over to say that you're not following these rules. And my stance is, okay, well, then that's fine. If we're following rules, then therefore, let me make sure that you as well as are following the rules, because if I don't do that, then freedoms are lost. So that is that is the way that I proceed, to say, okay, well then if we're playing cards and we play and show me yours, if this is your hand, then this is mine, and let's proceed accordingly to the law. That's it. That's my only standing, is if someone doesn't stand up every once in a while and define the edges, then they all disintegrate and people lose rights.
And you know something? With that being said, I would agree with you 1,000%. That's why I pride myself, and I hope I'm doing a good job for the citizens that come in here, and the police for that matter, and the prosecution, that I am calling the balls and strikes right. And if something doesn't proceed as it should, then I will dismiss the case one way or the other. But in my short time on this bench, and in my time at practicing law as a defense attorney, I get this, they can't pull me over. I've heard the corpus delicti, first time the civil procedure has been thrown at me. But from the way I see it, is that you just don't feel that the police have a jurisdiction to pull you over for these issues. Is that correct?
Do I have again, Your Honor, what I feel is that if we are following rules.
Okay, I don't mean to cut the defendant off here, but I have to jump in, because what Judge Perkins just said was absolutely spot on. This man really thinks the cop had no jurisdiction to pull him over. Like public roads are some kind of lawless free-for-all. Newsflash, buddy, that's not how any of this works. I don't get why he's dodging such a basic question. Everyone has to follow the rules of the road. That's just common sense. How do you seriously not know that? Instead of just owning up and admitting he messed up, this guy is out here making a complete fool of himself. And for what? A traffic stop? Sovereign citizens really act like they're kings of their own imaginary countries, but I genuinely want to know, do any of you understand how someone actually starts believing this stuff? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'm honestly curious.
I have to follow the rules, and every person out there, all of these officers, everybody else has to follow the rules. So if it comes down to it,
what I'm gonna hope that you do by the time you come back on the trial date, jury trial date is gonna be March the 18th, 2025.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're probably gonna have an audience, because everybody follows me on these cases all the time.
I understand.
All right, and I don't know if that's what you want, but we're gonna do that.
It's not that.
March the 18th, 2025. We're gonna have a final pre-trial date. Final pre-trial. This is to you, Mr. Bowman, especially the day before, on February 17th, 2025 at 8:30. So Mr. Gray and Mr. Bowman, Mr. Bowman, I need you to have all your officers appear on that date. Who's ever going to state these allegations, so that we know that we're not just summoning the people of the city of Detroit to a jury that's not actually going to go. So all parties must appear, and that can be via Zoom. And the trial is going to be in person. All right. All parties must appear on final pretrial date and obviously on the trial date. And what I would implore you to do is you need to figure out the right game, because it doesn't sound like you're playing the right game.
I understand, Your Honor. I appreciate, first and foremost, let me say, I appreciate the dialogue. I appreciate you sitting here and engaging with me at this level. So I recognize what you're saying, and so yeah, I guess it's to the table we go. So
yeah, but get your game in order, because I'm just giving you a little heads up. If you come in with that game on the jury trial date, then more than likely you'll lose, unless you can find one of those jurors or a couple of those jurors, or even all of them, to have some sympathy for you, sir.
I got a whole basis for understanding, and so yeah, if you know it
that basis that you outlined shortly today is not.
What was flawed in my what was flawed, Your Honor? What is
we already discussed it. We already discussed it. The federal rules of civil procedure that you brought up as a motion to dismiss, not the right basis. The corpus delicti, they do have a corpus delicti. They do have a crime that they say has been committed. And if you read the MCL, the Michigan court rules, and the Michigan statutes, then you'll see those crimes outlined there. They have them on the tickets. They got the statute numbers that are on the tickets. So that's not the right basis. So you're in a whole different ball game, and you need to come on to this ball game here.
Okay. All right. Okay.
What do you guys think is going to happen at this guy's jury trial in March 2025? Because honestly, there is no way a jury is buying into this sovereign citizen nonsense. The laws he's quoting, totally irrelevant to his case. And this idea that he doesn't have to follow traffic laws, that's been debunked 1,000 times. Traffic laws are state laws. If you're driving on public roads, you follow them, no exceptions. What cracks me up is how confidently wrong he is. He's out here acting like some legal mastermind, but it's painfully obvious he hasn't done his homework at all. And Judge Perkins, props to him. He stayed chill the entire time while this guy was rambling like he was teaching a law school seminar. If I were the judge, I probably would have lost it. I genuinely don't know what this guy thinks is going to happen. He could have just taken the ticket and moved on with his life. But no, he's choosing a jury trial, where he's likely facing the maximum penalty. And his arguments, all over the place. A jury's not going to waste time on this. They're regular people. Do you really think they'll side with this guy over the officer who was just doing his job? If he doesn't get a lawyer and keeps this up, he's toast. But hey, maybe he'll surprise us. I'm not holding my breath though. What do you guys think? Is he playing dumb, or does he genuinely believe this sovereign citizen stuff? Personally, I think he's just that clueless and fell down the wrong internet rabbit hole. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love reading what you guys have to say. And if you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post new content every day, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, take care.